One creator I've been recently obsessed with is Tejas, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing him. So tell us about it.
Wow. First of all, thank you for having me on here. That's awesome.
Yep.
Tell you a little bit about myself. Man, this feels like a college interview again. This is like the one question they prepare you for, and you always feel not prepared. But
Yeah.
well, you said it. My name is Tejas. I'm a 21-year-old content creator at the moment. I've recently taken a leave of absence from my university and pursuing this route. I guess I can start by saying I like making content for other creators because I think this we're in quite of a media revolution at the moment. I think a lot of power is going to these independent creators, and I want to empower exactly those people. And so I started on TikTok about just over a year ago, I'd say. In the last year, I've gotten most of my steam, started in like finance content, and been trying to evolve that into more like vlog personality content, but my goal is to be a business personality, and so far
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. I couldn't be happier. It's been such a crazy ride, but I'm sure we'll get out.
Yeah. So what was like the dropping out of school like? Since you mentioned it
Yeah.
in the beginning, so let's get straight into that. Like, how did you take the decision? Like, why did you? When
Totally.
did it first cross your mind to actually do it?
Great question. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I come from a family of traditional Indian parents, and that means like they're like, "Yo, you're finishing school." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Of course, I'm finishing school." So this is again, I only have 12 credit hours. Let me just put that out. I only have 12 credit hours to finish college. That's four classes. And it's
Why did you
still
finish
such a
it?
tough decision. It comes down to this idea of opportunity cost, which are you familiar with that term?
Like, if there's an opportunity, just like drop everything and run, basically.
Kind of. It's one of those things where you have to weigh things, right? So because I'm going to be a senior in college, my school tells me I have to be at college to take those classes. I can't be online and anywhere, right? So for example, I just signed a lease in New York City. So I'm going to be living in New York for the next year, right? So if I go to school, the opportunity I would miss is moving to New York City and all the potential that's there, right? So that cost is too high for me right now going to school. And
Yeah.
so the moment that cost isn't too high, where it's like, actually, I can do a lot of things I go to Indiana University. So it's Bloomington, Indiana. It's like in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. The moment where I can say, oh, I can continue doing what I'm doing right now at Bloomington is the moment I'll go back, which who knows? It can be a year, it could be 2 years, 3 years. So we'll see when I go back. But I do want to go back. But again, it was a hard decision, but I'm glad I've done it because I was able to go out to Los Angeles for 3 months and stay there. I was able to like meet so many people I wouldn't have been able to if it wasn't for this gap year.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, gap year," and just never come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
is
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I like to tell a story where in the last year, again, I wanted to be very humble about this, but it's more through education of like what content creation is truly like. I've gotten job opportunities for double what my starting salary would have been if I graduated college, right? I've gotten three of them, three job opportunities, a double, and not a single
wow.
one of them asked me what my degree was. They used what I made online as almost like a virtual resume, right? And that's shown more than what a degree could have. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the words.
Are you thinking
Yeah,
of college? What's your? I mean, you're still very young.
I want to go because like I've been told that's such an amazing experience and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So yeah, if it's a
Yeah,
cool experience and
totally.
like just being able to say I finished school, it's like good.
Yeah,
So
it's a big weight. It's a big weight, totally.
yeah,
You just have to weigh the benefits and the costs and see at the end of the day is it what's higher, and then make your decision
yeah,
based off that.
but I don't know how much it's gonna change in like what 5 years, 6 years when I should go to
Yeah, it's a good
college.
point. It's a
I
good
don't know
point.
if 10 million followers and making millions of
It's a great
dollars
point.
and I don't need it, or maybe I'm
Yep,
still around this size. But yeah, I don't know.
totally.
So
Keep grinding. You never know. Life can
exactly.
change in a year. That's if I could say one thing, that's what I would say. Life can change in
Exactly.
1 year.
So is TikTok like your first attempt at making content creation?
I would say serious attempt in a sense. So I started what piqued my interest in, let's just say, video storytelling. More than content creation, more than anything, I love telling stories online. And this started when I was in this club I was a captain of back in high school. And it's called Rube Goldberg. Do you know what a Rube Goldberg machine is?
No.
No. Have you ever seen those commercials where it's like a ball hits a domino and then a domino hits a fan, which moves a boat, right? It's like all these really
Yeah.
simple steps. It's that's what's called a Rube Goldberg machine. And so we had a club in my high school, and it was it started very. It was so new to the point where we didn't even have a space in my high school. Instead, it was in my basement. It was actually the machine was right here. And 10 or 20 of my best friends come over every night to my house and we would build this machine. And it was like such a cool event. And so at the beginning of my junior year of high school, I decided to start recording small clips just on my iPhone, right? I'd be like, hey, this is October. This is what things would look like. I'd record funny moments and like show the progress. And at the very end of the season, right? At the end of the school year, this is like when a lot of the seniors are graduating, emotions were high. I was like, I'm going to make this into a documentary. I put it into Windows Movie Maker and I made it like a 40-minute documentary. And I put some like music that we all loved throughout the year and I showed it. And I just the amount of emotion and like nostalgia and like everything that people felt in that moment, I was like, holy, there's something to this. There's something to video storytelling. So it was by no means good content if it comes to like YouTube comments or not as like YouTube content and stuff, because it's probably the retention sucked on it and whatever. But the story of it was, and so ever since then I've been obsessed. And after my sophomore year of college, 2020, this is a pandemic, peak pandemic. I was like, I don't have an internship. I don't have anything right now. I'm going to just try and make like YouTube content, like just little daily vlogs. I was obsessed with David Dobrik, Casey Neistat, all the usual names, right? And so I was like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing it. And, I did it for one summer, didn't see any traction, but the one good thing that came out of it is I learned Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, self-taught myself it. But then in like August of 2020, what is this new app that people are talking about? TikTok. What's going on? This girl, Charlie D'Amelio, has 20 million followers right now and like unprecedented. Like, okay, the attention is moving here. Let me see if I could do something here. And so I challenged myself for 1 month to post every single day. And I did gain 2,000 followers in that first month. And I was like, this is crazy. This is unbelievable. And ever since I've been encapsulated. I've been addicted.
I've been trying to go on TikTok. I literally can't. I've made like different accounts. Like
Yeah.
the most I've gotten is like 700 views.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I have a newsletter and I just wrote about this. It's called Out West, and I basically said posting on TikTok is like pulling a lever of a slot machine every single time,
Mhm.
right? I have 500,000 followers on the app now. I can get anywhere
Congrats.
from like they appreciate it. I have anywhere from like 10,000 views, which isn't good if you have 500,000 followers, to like 10 million views. That's such a crazy range,
Amazing.
right? And so it's such a gamble. I'd love to like audit your content too. Let's see if there's time in this or a little bit later. Be like, I'd love to
Sure.
give some tips if I can.
Yeah, that's literally could do it. But like it's been all over the place. I've tried like promoting my YouTube videos. I tried like making like relatable
Mm,
content.
yeah,
And then I have this new account which I made literally 2 days ago. Or
yeah,
I don't even know because my friend started a TikTok account. I'm in it too. And it's like literally filming the dumbest stuff and posting it there. And he has like 200 followers. So I made a new account and posted it. My friend started a TikTok account without me. Let's see if this can get more popular.
yeah.
But they didn't start without me. But yeah, I'm in it, but I just did that. Got like I don't even know how many views it got, but yeah.
I mean, it's a gamble, right? It's definitely a gamble. I would say one tip I'd have for you, right, is instead of concentrating on getting that number as big as possible, I'd concentrate on who do you want that number to be, right? I have, I'm lucky to have be friends with a lot of creators, right? Some with 10, 20 million followers. And
Same.
I'm sure you're there too. It's like a lot of these people, they don't know who their audience is, right? And it's hard because if they want to promote a brand or like sell something or like make any sort of decision based off their following, it's really hard for them. Whereas like I'm not saying I'm perfect at this, but I'd say I have a good understanding of my following who are people like you, right? That are people who are interested in like becoming a creator, interested in business, right? And at least like making a living of what they find fun, right? And that knowing that much has allowed me to make a lot of decisions, right? Where my following isn't as big as someone with 10 million followers, but I know who these followers are. And so I would chase
Which
community
might lead
instead
you
of,
to
yeah,
like more engagement. Like
totally, right? But more than anything, it's a community there, right? There's a community. Again, I don't want to say I'm the perfect community, but it's definitely the start of a community where I can just make more decisions based off of. So I wouldn't fall for the trap of trying to make that number as big as possible. How many followers you have. I'd concentrate
yeah.
on what do you want to be known for, right? What do you find fun to make, right? And then you'll find a way to communicate that with a following.
Yeah. On YouTube Shorts, like I found what works on like
Mm,
most channels, and I got 22,000 subscribers in like a
awesome.
week. In a week from YouTube, which was crazy. And
22,000. Wow.
most of it came in like random moments. I literally
Okay.
sat down here, was getting ready for class. I decided to check on the channel.
Yeah.
And on my second monitor here, I opened up the live subscriber count. And every like minute, it goes up like 100 subscribers. So I'm just
Wow. Wait, what
looking at
channel?
I can send you it. It's a Minecraft Shorts channel.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Wow, look at this. That's
But
awesome.
yeah.
You're seeing a ton on there. What?
Mhm.
I see what? The last 6 shorts are all within the day. That's crazy.
Yeah, and before I would like the thing I was doing is I would download videos from TikTok about Minecraft and upload
Mm,
30 of them in a day, like 50, 30.
wow.
And with shorts, the more you upload, the more chance they have going viral.
Of course. It's like throwing darts at a
So
dartboard.
exactly. And
Very cool.
a couple of videos took off and 22,000 subscribers. And I was there sitting in class, looking at my live subscriber count, watching it go up, not paying
Yep.
attention in class, just staring at that. That was so entertaining.
Keep it going, man. You're so young. Just
Yeah.
keep experimenting. Don't be demotivated. Don't be demotivated.
Exactly.
I'm looking at your old videos right now. I mean, you're so far ahead.
A
Don't
lot
you
of them
worry.
are privated because, like, if I'm making podcasts, I don't want those other videos to get recommended. So I a couple of them left a couple of them public. And yeah.
Yeah.
But there's
Very
like
cool.
1,000 more videos that are privated. Like you mentioned about the whole high school thing, was there alongside that, was there a creator that also inspired you, or was it just that?
Yeah, there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them. I think the first creator that really inspired me into was David Dobrik. And I remember my friend introducing him to me maybe my freshman year of college, so 2018-ish. And he goes, "Man, I'm just obsessed with this guy. Like, you should check him out." And I remember watching one of his videos and like almost everyone else, you're gonna be addicted to all of them. And
Yeah, I binged all of them.
it's crazy. And so I remember watching his videos and being like, okay, he is using a Canon 8, right? Not even with a mic. Like, I should be able to make what he can, right? I've got friends. I feel like I have an interesting story. Like, let me try it out. And so that was truly the first person that kind of got me into this whole thing of like, okay, how does this work, right? And then actually the second after that, I think the second person I've ever followed was like Colin and Samir, right? Because I was into it. I was like, hey, how do you do this? Like, how do
They're
you do this? And
amazing.
Colin and Samir is, of course, right? They're the best. They're the textbook of the creator economy right now. And so yeah, I think
They're like,
seeing those two. So after seeing both of them, I was like, okay, this is possible, and I kept going at it. So, and then obviously there's Casey Neistat, there's Logan Paul inspires me a ton. I'm heavily
yeah,
inspired by Yes Theory, of course, right? Like their message and
obviously.
community
They're
is
amazing.
one of the strongest. Exactly. So I would say like a mix of everyone, even Nelk at a point. Like I'm not a big fan of Nelk now, but even seeing what they were doing, I was like, this is awesome. Like what they're building is so interesting. And I really took a little inspiration from every single person.
Yeah, definitely. Like all those creators are amazing. Like Nelk, they have like a beer
Yeah,
line.
seltzer. Yep.
Yeah, they released something else recently. Like I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I don't watch them, but yeah.
Totally. I mean, there's some of the best business people, creators out there. You're right. They have a seltzer line, which kills it. They just dropped an NFT line, which was very controversial, but assuming all goes well, they made
Yeah.
around $23 million in like an hour, something
Yeah.
crazy. So crazy.
Paul with the prime hydration and KSI. Like that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
And the funniest part to me about that was like when they said it was gonna be an NFC, and everyone in the chat
Was like, oh, you're joking.
Yeah.
They're two of the best marketers in the game, for sure.
And when they switched rooms, that was amazing.
It was crazy, truly.
Yeah. I haven't tried Prime because I'm in Mexico. But when I go to US, it definitely yeah.
I don't know you're in Mexico. What are you doing there?
I live here.
I don't know that. That's crazy. Very cool.
Have you
I
tried
haven't tried
Prime?
it either. No, I haven't. I need to. I've heard it's been sold out everywhere, which is great for them.
I also heard it's really good. Like I've heard a couple people say they prefer it over Gatorade.
I mean,
like something big to say.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you right now, but I bet.
Yeah,
Tequila, man, they've got a good business development team.
exactly. So your past two TikToks have been like a dinner full of like VC and crypto millionaires.
Yeah.
Like, what is the context of that? How did you get there?
Totally. I think one of the values or something that I want to show people is how to make connections and like how to network. And again, humbly and I'm very self-aware of what I'm good at. And one thing I feel like I'm good at is making connections. And so it was one of those crazy moments where I just met these guys in New York City and they invited me to dinner. I was like, this is a great TikTok. And so I made that TikTok and
Where did you meet
right.
them? On the road or like?
How did I meet them? So it was like a connection showed me a connection, which showed me a connection, which I'll tell this story. That's funny. So like this is how it all came out to be. It's a crazy, crazy story. Basically, I was in Los Angeles in May of last year, and I met a guy named Eric Way, who is the co-founder of a credit card company called Carrot. Right. And credit cards for creators. Right. It's their whole gig. And, I became good friends with him. He's like one of my closest like friends in the space today. And he took me to this tech event in Los Angeles. And there I met a guy named Connor Blakely. And Connor Blakely was a fan of mine because of what I've created online. And he said, whenever you're in Cleveland, come by because he lives in and I was there for the Jake Paul fight. And I said, Connor, I'm in Cleveland. And so he invited me over and he told me to meet a guy named Ben. And Ben is actually one of the guys in that first one of the guys in that video. Then Ben, when I was in New York, was like, hey, come by. I got to introduce you to someone. And this guy's named Ryan. And Ryan is that guy on the phone in that video. He's like such a well-connected person in New York City. They all have they run like VCs. They're all super big into crypto, building in the crypto space. Yeah, that it's one of those things where as long as you're nice and attentive to one of them, they'll introduce you. They'll want you to be in their network, and it's what's keeping me in this industry single-handedly. That
when it comes to podcasts, it's like built like my connections network. Like because of it, before I knew like two other creators that didn't have like more than 10,000 subscribers, and because of that, I now know creators with like 10 million subscribers.
Yep, totally. You've done it right. I mean, look at your connections, your firsthand. It's so many. Yeah. You're killing it. Totally.
Yeah, yours is big too, with like the people you mentioned.
For sure. I mean, the craziest thing, if you looking at myself a year ago today, I had none of these people. Not a single person in the creator economy world. Right. And I was a kid in college, like in a fraternity, and I was just doing college every single day. Right. Not a single one. And that's why I meant like come back to what I said earlier. 1 year could change your life. Seriously. And I'm so excited to see what this next year brings. It's truly amazing.
Yeah. If you would have asked me like in early May of 2020, like, you know what a podcast is? Yeah. Completely said no. Like who knew later that exact month I would start one.
For sure.
So because you mentioned you watched Civil War. Did you like
in the last TikTok?
Oh, where did you get to the point where you watched that? Like
yeah. So that was with a close friend of mine and another creator named Omar Raja, right? Yeah. He started House of Highlights on Instagram. And dude, it's one of those things where he friended me on TikTok, I friended him, or vice versa, whatever it is. And he's like, yo, shoot me a text. And I was like, oh, like, dude, this guy's a role model of mine. He's the head of social media at ESPN. Yeah. And we hop on a call. Again, my secret to all these calls, I think where a lot of people mess up, is they ask for something in that first call, right? Like at the end of the day, I don't have any leverage in a call with Omar, right? He's much bigger than I am, right? I am the person like who has to show up big, right? So I helped Omar with whatever that call was. I can't remember right now. I maybe showed him some tricks I do on TikTok, whatever, but I focused on becoming friends first. I was like, Omar, my whole focus, I want to be friends. And Omar's like, dude, this guy's, so when you're in New York, let me know. He invited me over to his apartment. So we had that dinner. He invited me over. He's like, you guys are cool. And now I was like, once I set that foundation of a friendship, I was like, I would love to make a video about you. And he goes, for sure. Right. That's the secret, right? You want to become friends first and like, it's kind of like Gary Vee's whole thing, like jab, 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 right? Right. Provide value, then ask, right? That's how you win. That's how you win in this.
Yeah, I definitely agree with like the provide value. Mm-hmm. But like a lot of people find it difficult to get these people on a call because like when you normally ask people, let's call like 10 minutes, they're normally going to say no. Like I want to call with a random person. So how do you get him on the call, basically? So
I'll look right now, actually, because this all spawned off our DMs. So again, this started because I make a certain type of content for these creators, right? A lot of people ask me like, yo, how do you, like, you have so many creator friends. It's like, I make content for these people, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a hack. But once I saw he friended me back, I'm trying to look. Where is he?
Well, while you look for that, like something randomly happened.
Go ahead.
Like one of the YouTubers I watched when I was little followed me today on Twitter, which is so random. Like I watched him when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Like seeing him follow me was like,
It's so
how?
nice, right? Right.
But
That's the
yeah.
thing. So many people are concentrated on getting their like view count up, their follower count up, but one view and one follower. That's who Omar's one person out of my 500,000. One view, right? I'll show you this. I guess he followed me on May 11th of 2021. I said, Omar, wanted to reach out and say that you are a role model in building HOH and doing what you love. And he goes, thanks, bro. And then he compliments me back, like, your videos are really well done. Camera editing, the information is all spot on. Keep it up. And then I basically asked him, I was like, are you planning on being at the Mayweather fight, the TikTok or the Logan Paul or the TikTokers versus YouTubers one? And he goes, yeah, I should be at, and then says, let me know if you want to connect. And he gives me his phone number. Right. And from there, I remember we were on a call for like an hour or something, like just talking to Omar. It was the craziest thing. To this day, he's a big role model of mine. And a lot of those happen like that. Same with my connections with Dylan. Dylan's my closest friend today. And I invited him to one of the fights. And he, like, again, I concentrated on becoming friends first, never asked anything of him. And now we're friends. Yeah.
I don't know if I should like send him a message. Like when I first saw the follow, I didn't know if I should like send the message right when you like followed me,
Yeah.
or wait a little bit and then send the message.
No, I
Like,
never concentrate on any of that stuff. I just like,
yeah.
even if I get a text, I send it right away. You
Yeah,
know,
but
even
before I did think about it, I was like, but now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how he found my account and how he followed me,
Yeah.
because it's so random. Like I just don't know.
Totally.
And now it helps like other creators grow, which is crazy. Yeah.
So nuts.
So what is like one thing you've learned from having 500,000 followers on TikTok?
What is one thing I've learned? I would say the life of a content creator moves like 4 times as fast as a traditional person. This is like I feel like I've lived 4 years in the last year just by the amount I've gotten done, the amount of people I've met, the amount of like opportunities that I've been able to do. Maybe this goes for just any traditional entrepreneur versus like a traditional person. Don't get me wrong, there's big downsides of it. I feel like I'm working 24/7. I'm also like the lows are lows, but the highs are very high. And so I think for anyone who wants to be in this role, it's definitely something to consider, right? Of like, look, it's not for everyone. It sucks, but the highs are really high. And that, this is the right path for me. And now my next year is to figure out how I can make it my living for the next 20 years of my life. And so that's probably my biggest lesson.
Yeah, it definitely does like go by so fast. Like this like year where I've been like trying to focus on like making the best content possible, instead of like before when it was just like, don't worry about the quality. Well, I did worry, but like and now I want to prefer quality. The amount of stuff I've learned in this like since the beginning of the year, it's like something you could learn a year.
Yeah,
which is crazy. And yeah, and like it's so amazing getting like each video uploaded on this year. It's like, wow, this video is so much better than your last on each one, which is crazy. Like just this video is better than your last on each one. It's like amazing.
for
And
sure.
yeah.
Totally. It's growth, right? No, I think you're on the right track. You truly are. And just stay patient. You're gonna win if you stay patient, right? Like build for the person you want to be 10 years from now, bro. Like you're 13. Build for the person you want to be 8 years from now. That's who I am. I'm 8 years older than you, right? Like think about where were you 8 years ago? You're 5 years old, right?
I started making content. Oh my god.
That's a crazy amount of time. If you stick with it, stay patient, you will win. Like you will win.
Yeah.
I promise.
And if I've been patient for 8 years already, I can be patient for a lot more.
Totally. You've done it. I'm patient. I'm staying patient. I feel like I'm only 1% of where I truly can be. And I'm building for who I want to be when I'm 50 years old. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's it. I have time for maybe one more question here, if that's okay.
So the last question, would you prefer 10 million on TikTok or 500,000 on YouTube?
I think the right answer in this case is YouTube, right? I think most people you probably get are like 500,000 on YouTube. And I get it. I think more than anything, I'm trying to think of the direction I want to take this. I think that question is avoiding a lot of variables. Let me say this. The short answer is 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? I think they're a lot more devoted and much more valuable than TikTok followers, even at 10 million. But more so, I think someone with 10 million followers on TikTok can do better than someone with 500,000 YouTube subscribers if that community aspect is there, right? And that's what I want more than anything, right? If I have 500,000 empty
Same.
followers versus 10 million like engaged like TikTok followers, I'll take the 10 million every day,
Exactly.
right? It's whatever's the best community, whatever's the best brand. That's the long end.
Definitely. Like having a community is what is important. You can have 1 million subscribers and have no community, and that will
And have
get
it
you
empty, yeah.
nowhere. And you can
Totally.
have 10,000 subscribers in a huge community, a huge. Yeah.
For sure. You got it. You hit it right on the dot.
Anyways, since you don't have much time, thank you so
Yes.
much for coming on the podcast. It really means a lot. All your socials will be in the description, and I'll see you next episode of the Cast.
Brother, appreciate it.